NFL free agency is finally here, and the Vikings are starting to make some moves as we got some breaking news. They are extending safety Theo Jackson before NFL free agency in a bit of a shocker. I have not talked about this on the show at all this offseason, and this was a shocking move for the Vikings. So what does this mean for Camryn Bynum? Is he leaving the Vikes in free agency? We'll break it down all on today's show. But first off, let's kick it to our good old friend, Tom Pelissero, had this breaking news about 30 minutes ago saying the Vikings and safety Theo Jackson agreed to terms on a 2-year, $12.615 million extension through 2027, with the first 2 years fully guaranteed at signing per source. So clearly the Vikings are paying him like a starting caliber safety in the National Football League. So what does that mean for our good old friend, the dance coordinator, Camryn Bynum? We'll talk about that here in a second. But guys, free agency is here. It is going to start this weekend, and the Vikings can already start signing guys like, Byron Murphy Jr., even if they want to re-sign Daniel Jones, like these Dalton Reisners, S players on the Vikings roster. We will have everything covered here on the channel. So hit that subscribe button. Lock us in. Do not miss a thing around your Minnesota Vikings because it's starting right now. So hit that subscribe button today. Alrighty, so Theo Jackson gets paid. I'll say this. This was what I wanted the Vikings to do. I did not want them to toss big money to Camryn Bynum in free agency, as he was supposed to get around $15, $16 million. And the biggest reason for that was nothing against Cam Bynum, but how big of a fan I am of Theo Jackson. But you guys have heard me talk about this guy. I think he is one of the most best-kept secrets in the NFL. Brian Flores loves this guy, and in very limited snaps this past season, he graded out very, very well. A 79.2 overall PFF grade, 65.9 in the run defense grade, and then a coverage grade of 77.1. And where does that shake out compared to the rest of the guys in the National Football League? Well, a 79.2 PFF grade is actually 13th in the entire league. His coverage grade, 13th as well in the whole National Football League. And there's one game that kind of made this decision easy for me and probably for the Vikings front office was when he had to fill in against the Seattle Seahawks for Harrison Smith in this game. He actually had the game-sealing interception after Sam Darnold found Justin Jefferson back left of the end zone in that crazy game-winning touchdown throw and catch that they had. Theo Jackson, 2 possessions later, had the game-sealing interception. And in this game, and it's really his only time getting 20-plus snaps in a game this season, he was awesome. 85.3 overall PFF grade, 77.1 in coverage, 1 PBU, 1 tackle for loss, was really all over the field. And he is an extremely versatile player. And we always talk about that buzzword. Being a versatile player is what you need to be in the Brian Flores system. So I am a massive fan of this move for the Minnesota Vikings because you're betting on one of your young guys who has been working behind the scenes and just working his tail off. And listen, this guy has also been awesome in preseason games. He has been awesome in his spot starts in the NFL, and I understand we'll probably lose Cam Bynum because you don't pay Theo Jackson, $12 million fully guaranteed if you don't anticipate he is going to be a big piece of this Vikings defense moving forward. So we'll talk about Cam Bynum and what this means for him here in a second. But overall, massive fan of this move. The Vikings are starting to make moves, and we'd love to see it. So if you guys want to show Theo Jackson some love, go type his jersey number. Type those 26s down below in the comments section. Also, one little note here. I remember I was doing a perfect free agency video last year. And in that video, I said the Vikings need to go sign Sam Darnold. They need to sign Aaron Jones. You got to draft J.J. McCarthy and extend Jefferson and Darisaw. They did all that. And one of my big moves I wanted the Vikings to make this season was let Cam Bynum walk and then let Theo Jackson kind of start in place for him. And it looks like maybe Quasi's watching some of the videos here. Obviously joking a little bit. But I love this move for the Vikes. Theo Jackson going to stay in the purple and gold for the next 2 seasons. So what does this mean for the other guys in the safety room? And first off, we'll start with Harrison Smith. Now, there are some chatter that Harrison Smith has already made his decision and he will be returning to the Minnesota Vikings for at least one more season. Now, he is a free agent. I can't really see Harry going out there and signing with another team. I feel like it's either he is going to retire or he will return to the Minnesota Vikings. And he was still very productive this past season. But it was actually Slick Rick who, if you guys don't know, this guy's one of the craziest like NFL reporters out there. He's got some connection in the league. This guy breaks news left and right before even like the Adam Schefters and Tom Pelisseros have the news. But he said Harrison Smith has told the Vikings he will be playing football in 2025, either with them or against them. He is not expected to retire if the Vikings decide to move on and will look to find a new team. So still question marks if Harrison Smith will be returning to the Vikes, but again, if he is playing football next season, I got to assume it's with the Minnesota Vikings. You know, Brian Flores loves him. He loves being in Minneapolis. He loves this organization, and I'm sure, you know, Kwesi's talking to Harry right now saying, hey, man, we're going to try to go all in on this next 2 to 3 year window. Hopefully you are a part of it when the Vikings, you know, eventually get that Super Bowl ring. But, you know, big story coming out of this extension is, what does this mean for Camryn Bynum? And I think the short answer to this is he is most likely going to walk in free agency. But we'll dive into that a little bit more here in a second. Also, just show some love to Cam Bynum because truly one of my favorite players to ever wear the purple and gold. But before we do so, I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you create your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? Well, it's the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Now, if you guys want to make a Minnesota Wild or a Minnesota Timberwolves game a whole lot more interesting, PrizePicks is the best way to do so. You create a lineup, you just pick more or less on different stat projections, and you guys can put some cash in your back pocket. So download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. I got that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show, but massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, let's talk about Cam Bynum. So I think you have to assume Cam Bynum will walk in free agency. Now, this guy, he's going to probably get paid in that $13 to $17 million per year range. And with where the Vikings are at right now, are you going to pay 4 safeties? No, you're not. Obviously, we know Flores runs 3 safety sets 94% of the time on defense, but you already got Metellus. You just paid Theo Jackson. You're probably going to get Harrison Smith back, and I think that means Cam Bynum's going to walk. And Cam Bynum, you know, he was pretty damn good for the Vikes this past season. You know, I do have, you know, some issues with how he is in terms of tackling in the open field, like the amount of times that Jahmyr Gibbs or Josh Jacobs or DeAndre Swift, you know, these running backs in the NFC North just embarrassed this guy in the hole. You know, it was a countless number of times, but still, he was very productive. I mean, 10 PBUs, 3 interceptions. He's obviously a great locker room guy. He brings the juice, and, you know, even more from him from 2024 was the thing I love the most is he's just an elite communicator on that side of the football. You know, if it's not Blake Cashman, you know, making all the moves, it's Cam Bynum. He's communicating with the other guys in the secondary, but he had 96 total tackles, 2 TFLs, 10 PBUs, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries this past season. A great year from Cam Bynum, but why is he going to walk? Well, his contract projection is 3 years, $42.75 million. And if you guys remember, Cam Bynum, I think it was his brother or sister, posted on social media after the Vikings' last home game against the Green Bay Packers, and it says when you're watching your brother play his last game in the home stadium with the team that drafted him, they kind of knew this was coming. I'm sure Cam Bynum, he's anticipating he's going to go sign somewhere else. Where that is, I really have no idea, but I do want to end today's show with just giving a thank you to Cam Bynum because, yes, this year was special, winning 14 games. You know, it's going to be a year I remember for the rest of my life, but honestly, like, it was nothing really on the field. It was just the, you know, antics after making a big play. Like, the dances were awesome. Like, my favorite one from the whole season was when they were hitting the white chicks dance and Josh Metellus flipped Cam Bynum fully over, and it was just awesome stuff. Like, all the memories I have from this season, them going viral, you know, on TikTok and all that, it's just truly just a memorable season, and number 24 was the biggest reason for that, or also him hitting the breakdancer dance in this one. It was, you know, truly a memorable season from Cam Bynum, and, you know, listen, even though I was in the camp, you got to let him walk. You got to go in a different direction because I don't want to pay a safety, you know, big bucks. It just doesn't make sense for where the Vikings roster is and just financially just be, you know, overpaying for a guy who, does he have $15 million per year worth of impact? That's debatable. I'd probably say no, but, no doubt, great locker room guy, great person, great man, and just thank you for all the memories, Cam Bynum. But let's end today's show with this. All love to Theo Jackson. Super happy he's getting paid. But this also means a fan favorite in Camryn Bynum will most likely be walking in free agency. Give me those skull cams down below in the comment section. And also, if you guys want to hit me up on Twitter, that's the handle right there, at Pat Sieps. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. But exciting times right now. Free agency just around the corner. So we'll see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.